Welcome to International Student Brief. The content of the briefing includes: she told senior officials to manage risks early to avoid a butterfly effect. Want to know what's bedeviling Biden? TikTok economics may hold clues. Rent surge sparks investor stampede into student accommodation. Miami's inflation ranks highest in the U.S. Universities slam ridiculous proposal to cap foreign students. She told senior officials to manage risks early to avoid a butterfly effect. South China Morning Post. Chinese President Xi Jinping has warned senior officials about the potential butterfly effect of small political risks turning into major dangers. She called on officials to identify and act on risks early, taking immediate command to prevent small problems from escalating. The comments were made in February but were only made public earlier this month. She has repeatedly stressed the need for officials to be alert to risks and has urged them to prepare for worst-case scenarios. In recent years, China has faced a range of risks including an economic slowdown, demographic crisis, and geopolitical tensions with the US and its allies. Want to know what's bedeviling Biden? TikTok economics may hold clues. New York Times. Young voters in the US are expressing economic dissatisfaction on social media platforms like TikTok, despite the positive economic indicators from traditional data sources. Unemployment remains low, wages are beating inflation, and the job market is strong, yet there is a deep-seated angst about the economy among consumers. Surveys show that even though young people are optimistic about the job market, they still have negative views about the economy. Social media platforms, like TikTok, reflect and potentially fuel this sentiment. Experts suggest that the proliferation of negative news on social media platforms may be contributing to the negative views about the economy and the Biden administration. The Biden campaign has recognized the importance of TikTok as an information source for young voters and is working with content creators to amplify a positive message about the economy. However, the negative content, such as videos about the silent depression and housing affordability, tend to garner more attention and engagement. Young people's concerns about affordability, such as housing and student loans, are grounded in reality and are contributing to their negative views about the economy. Rent surge sparks investor stampede into student accommodation. The Sydney Morning Herald. Developers are increasingly targeting the student accommodation market in Australia due to a major shortage of supply in inner-city areas. Rents for purpose-built studio accommodation in Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane have surged by up to 50% as a result of the supply shortage. The number of international students studying in Australia reached 725,000 for the January-August period, up 31% on the same period in 2022. There are currently around 8,000 purpose-built student accommodation rooms in the pipeline for delivery between 2023 and 2026, but this is 30% below historical supply figures. Miami's inflation ranks highest in the U.S. Bloomberg. An influx of newcomers to Florida is driving up housing costs and inflation. The cost of living in Miami, Florida, rose by 7.4% in October, the highest rate of any U.S. metropolitan area. Tampa, another Florida city, saw inflation of 6.7% in September. The state's inflation rate is more than double the national average. Florida's population rose faster than any other state last year, creating a housing shortage that has lasted for at least 5 years. Low taxes and good weather have also made the state attractive to newcomers. Universities slam ridiculous proposal to cap foreign students. The Guardian. Dutch universities have criticized one of the leading candidates in next week's general election for suggesting the country has too many international students studying in English. Peter Omtzigt, a popular MP whose new social contract party is polling strongly, said that the country could face a labor shortage within 5 years if so many students at Dutch universities gained their qualifications in English before returning home. Omtzigt's party proposes capping annual migration to the Netherlands at 50,000, a figure that would include students. The Netherlands Association of Universities said that the Dutch economy needed high-level English speakers. Student borrowers tap a new path to loan forgiveness, bankruptcy. Wall Street Journal. More Americans are filing for bankruptcy to get rid of their student debt. Application numbers remain small, with just 632 borrowers using the new process from last November through September, according to Justice Department data. Still, that is an increase from recent levels. Finalists revealed for Sydney Morning Herald Essay Prize for Young Writers. The Sydney Morning Herald. The Sydney Morning Herald has shortlisted over 20 essays from young people for its inaugural Essay Prize. The competition provides a platform for young individuals to share their perspectives on subjects that matter to them. Topics included what makes entrants optimistic about the future of Sydney or New South Wales, what priorities they would set for Australia and why, and what they wish more people understood. The winning entrant in each age group will receive $1,000 $680, a tour of the newsroom, digital subscriptions to the Herald, and the opportunity to pitch 4 additional pieces for publication. Xi Jinping won't be able to save Communist China from disaster. Telegraph. Chinese President Xi Jinping's meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden is aimed at stabilizing China's-U.S. relationship and securing continued goodwill, technology, and capital from the United States. Despite being hailed as a core leader at home, she is concerned about the deterioration of China's most important external relationship. China's economic heft and status are the key to its power relations, but the country is facing a faltering economic model, macroeconomic imbalances, a broken real estate market, and poor governance. She must address these challenges to prevent further economic distress and potential instability. British pitted against foreign students for university places, Vice-Chancellor warns. Telegraph. British universities are financially dependent on international students paying higher fees than domestic students, creating a situation where the two groups are pitted against each other, according to Professor Kshitij Kapoor, Vice-Chancellor of King's College London. In a paper, he said if universities fail to recruit more international students, they will have to replace UK admissions with international ones. He also called for the funding of university research to be provided by the UK government. International students have returned to US colleges, fueled by a surge from India. Yahoo! The number of international students enrolling in U.S. universities increased by 12% in the 2022 to 2023 academic year, with India providing the largest increase, a study by the Institute of International Education and the State Department has found. The number of students from India increased by 35% to 269,000, while China sent 290,000 students, its third consecutive year of decline. The report said that the increased number of Indian students is due to a growing population, increased competition from UK and Canadian universities, and travel restrictions in Asia caused by the pandemic. Dear viewers, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6 Degrees world, here to bring you the latest news and analysis from around the globe. Let's dive right into today's headlines. Chinese President Xi Jinping has warned senior officials about the potential butterfly effect of small political risks turning into major dangers. She emphasizes the need for officials to identify and act on risks early to prevent small problems from escalating. This comes as China faces economic slowdown, demographic crisis, and geopolitical tensions with the US and its allies. So, it seems Xi is urging his officials to be proactive in managing risks to avoid potential disasters. In the US, young voters are expressing economic dissatisfaction on social media platforms like TikTok, despite positive economic indicators from traditional data sources. This discrepancy could be due to the proliferation of negative news on social media, which may be fueling negative views about the economy and the Biden administration. The Biden campaign recognizes the importance of TikTok as an information source for young voters and is working to amplify a positive message about the economy. However, concerns about affordability, such as housing and student loans, are grounded in reality and contributing to their negative views. In Australia, a shortage of student accommodation in inner-city areas has sparked a surge in development targeting the student accommodation market. Rents for purpose-built studio accommodations have surged by up to 50% due to the supply shortage. The number of international students studying in Australia has also increased, creating a high demand for student accommodation. While there are rooms in the pipeline for delivery between 2023 and 2026, it is still 30% below historical supply figures. So, it seems like developers are rushing to meet the growing demand for student accommodations. Miami, Florida, is facing the highest inflation rate in the U.S. due to an influx of newcomers driving up housing costs. The cost of living in Miami rose by 7.4% in October, the highest rate among U.S. metropolitan areas. Florida's population has been growing rapidly, creating a housing shortage that has lasted for at least 5 years. So, it seems the combination of population growth, housing shortage, and high demand is contributing to the high inflation rate in Miami. In the Netherlands, Dutch universities have criticized a leading candidate in the upcoming general election for suggesting that the country has too many international students studying in English. The candidate proposed capping annual migration to the Netherlands, including students. However, the Dutch Association of Universities argues that the Dutch economy needs high-level English speakers. It seems there is a clash of perspectives on the role of international students in the Netherlands. In the US, more Americans are filing for bankruptcy to get rid of their student debt. While the numbers remain small, there has been an increase in borrowers using bankruptcy to tackle their student debt. This highlights the ongoing issue of student debt in the US and the financial struggles many borrowers face. Moving on to a more positive note, the Sydney Morning Herald has shortlisted over 20 essays from young people for its inaugural essay prize. This competition provides a platform for young individuals to share their perspectives on topics that matter to them. It's great to see young voices being recognized and given a platform to express their thoughts and ideas. Finally, Chinese President Xi Jinping's upcoming meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden is aimed at stabilizing China's-U.S. relationship and securing continued goodwill, technology, and capital. This meeting highlights the importance of China's relationship with the U.S. for its economic stability and growth. However, China is facing various challenges, including a faltering economic model, macroeconomic imbalances, a broken real estate market, and poor governance. It remains to be seen how she will address these challenges to prevent further economic distress and potential instability. That's all for today's news. Now, I turn to you, my dear viewers. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you agree with Xi Jinping's call to manage risks early? Are you seeing similar economic dissatisfaction among young people in your country? And what about the surge in student accommodation development in Australia? I'm eager to hear your thoughts and answer any questions you may have. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the 6 Degrees world. Dr. 6. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.